Alright, we are now headed into part 7 of me rating every single Looney Tunes and Merrie Melodies cartoon ever, and I apologize if I kept you waiting for that long. I was just too busy focusing on other stuff, including schoolwork. And you know I haven't got all day to rate every Looney Tunes cartoon ever. But, continuing, as always, I rank each cartoon on a 0 out of 10 scale, 0 being the worst and 10 being the best. And please note that all the rankings are based on my personal opinion, so if you disagree with me on any of these rankings, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below with positive feedback, and I can help you out with it in the best way possible. But please be nice with the comments, and I'm totally fine with your opinions on the cartoons too. But anyways, I don't have any homework to do at this moment, so let's just get started. The Cagey Canary. Well, this one is actually surprisingly good. The cartoon violence is paced perfectly, and is pretty damn surreal if you ask me. This cartoon also marks the first appearance of the character Granny, who will eventually become a main character in the Sylvester and Tweety series. Stooge for a Mouse. This cartoon has its moments here and there. Sylvester is more of a main focus in this cartoon more than Tweety, but we have a dog in there instead. How weird. And this is also violent, but in a weird way. Pop and Pop. Another solid entry in the catalog, eh? But anyways, this one is pretty chaotic and interesting in a way. How Sylvester acted to Hippity Hopper in the end made me laugh though. Bushy Hair. Pretty good and entertaining in a way. This is about Bugs Bunny visiting the Outback, or Australia, or the land down under. Meeting up with a kangaroo, and in my opinion, that kangaroo kinda looks similar to Hippity Hopper, but the thing I don't like about this cartoon is the portrayal of the Aboriginal caricature in the film. Could be stereotypical, but still. Caveman Inky. Oh, for crying out loud, the Inky character is back again. But this one is very, very interesting. Thankfully, this is the final appearance of Inky, so I'm finally free from her. I don't like that Inky character because she's stereotypical in a racial way. The animation is done pretty well, and reminds me of the Rite of Spring segment from the classic Disney film Fantasia, which I recommend you to watch someday. Dog Collared. Be kind to animals week, eh? Well, in this cartoon, instead of being kind, Porky Pig is actually acting cruel to animals, and which at some parts made me laugh. But one more thing, this cartoon would have been better if only the racism was removed. Rabbit of Seville. This cartoon is an absolute classic. Not just that, everything about it, the gags, the humor, and the musical direction it takes, and others, is well done and perfectly timed. I love this cartoon so much that it's my new favorite so far since the rankings began, but not my all-time favorite, as we'll get to it later this episode. Cartoon violence, perfectly timed, and well done in every single frame and direction. Two's a Crowd. Cruel and cynical in a way. This is about the cat killing his puppy. And this one is actually violent to be honest, but I've seen better cartoons than just that. Here we go. We officially enter 1951 in a bad way. This one is about Bugs Bunny taking over for Christopher Columbus, which is very much historically inaccurate in a way. Christopher Columbus did some fucked up things too, so because of the fact this film is about Columbus, and it's like an alternate history scenario where Bugs Bunny works or takes over for Columbus, and this film sucks too. Historically inaccurate, and a film I would not recommend you to watch. A Fox and a Fix. Another solid entry in the catalog, and honestly this one is good, but not in a way I would say it's great. And it's pretty boring too. And is it just me, or do some of the characters sound like they're drunk? Oh, and before I continue, if you are not aware of this yet, all the Looney Tunes and Merrie Melodies shows released after 1950 got wiped out of HBO Max entirely. I think it was due to licensing issues, but nonetheless, I'm gonna try my hardest to continue the rankings without any hesitation. But anyways, let's just continue. Canned Feud. This cartoon is actually really good. This is like Home Alone before Home Alone was released. I especially like the fact that it's pretty cool and cynical, and Sylvester's tantrums actually is a good laugh. Rabbit Every Monday. This cartoon is also entertaining too. It has some great gags, great voice acting, and more. I especially love the audience member gag in the beginning, since it made me chuckle. This is like Chris Wheeling's attempt to protect Avery. The audience member gag occurred in Little Red Walking Hood and Daffy Duck and Egghead. This cartoon is absolutely funny and entertaining in every direction, and is one of the best Bugs Yosemite cartoons out there. Putty Tat Trouble. Imagine reusing the opening intro for Canary Roll, but this cartoon is more set during the winter, and is quite Christmassy, but we'll get into another Christmas cartoon later in the video. But this one is very interesting and somehow solid in a way. So the Sylvester and 3D cartoons are not the best ones out there, to be honest. Corn Plastered. Okay, it seems like the crow is acting dumb when he steals the mean and greedy farmer's corn. Nice mean touch to it, but I really don't like this cartoon. The crow's voice doesn't seem so thin. The crow sounds like some stereotypically racist African American portrayed in the film. For example, the hunter in All This and Rabbit Stew. This cartoon may or may not have been made on low budget, by the way. Bunny Hugged. I did not ask for that Westo to be all worked up and to sound like a lion. I have no idea what the fuck is going on in this cartoon. Imagine being a strong wrestler, find a small and skinny rabbit. This is like Rabbit Punch, but it's more intense in a way. Sentimental Romeo. And I thought Pepe Le Pew wasn't gonna return. Well, I guess I was wrong. Man, this character did not age well in today's standards. Another thing, the Pepe Le Pew cartoons are mainly romantic. And I am not a fan of romance films, but all I can say is, Pepe does speak a good French accent. A Bone for a Bone. As expected, the Goofy Gophers being goofy as they can possibly be. And is it just me, or am I starting to notice that Gophers are starting to have different voices? The Fair-Haired Hare. This cartoon is crazy, let me tell you. Some of the gags may be a bit too fast-paced, but I can handle it. This is about Yosemite Sam and Bugs being aggressive and fighting as usual. A Hound for Trouble. Oh no. Not a cartoon that pokes fun out of Italy and possibly its people, especially the fact it was released 6 years after the war ended. I mean, I get it, Italy sucked during the war, but still, this cartoon is also pretty unfunny too, and that is why I hate this cartoon, other than the possibly racial depictions of Italian people. Early Tibet. Another solid entry, but oh well, from what I know, this sort is about gambling, and I like the gags in this. Think of it as a cartoon, but the main character is a bug who gambles, just like Genshin Impact players committing credit card fraud. Rabbit Fire. Absolute classic. This cartoon is well known for the duck season, rabbit season gag, which is one of the most well-known moments in Looney Tunes history, and it's the first pairing of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck in the cartoon, and it is also the first part of a hunting trilogy made by Chuck Jones. This is roleplay comedy at its finest. Really good gags, perfectly timed. And also, there's another gag that made me laugh. The elephant gag where he punches Elmo Fudd down to the ground. And that hunting Elmo's gag at the end really got me. Room and Bird. Glad they didn't reuse the intro card for Canary Roll and Putty Tat Trouble again, but they reused the animation from that title card in that cartoon. I still can't appreciate that cartoon, but this one is funnyful. The chase scene also got me. Chowhound. Honestly, this one is really good, dark, and cynical. The majority of the cartoon is okay, but the ending gag is about the obese dog ending up in the hospital getting what he deserved. Also, that blackface gag of the cartoon was not necessary. French Rarebit. This one is solid. Well, in this cartoon they make fun out of French people. Bugs is truly spectacular in this film though, so I'm gonna get that a plus. Plus, the thing I don't like about this cartoon is that they make fun of French people. I mean, yeah, I'm not a fan of the French country, but still. The wearing of the grin. Is it just me, or the last few cartoons making fun out of people from multiple nationalities and ethnicities? But honestly, this one is pretty interesting at the least. Well, this is a good St. Patrick's Day special, and honestly, in my opinion, the two leprechauns are pretty damn creepy. Leghorn Swoggled. This is surprisingly a great Foghorn Leghorn short. The gags and punchline are pretty hilarious and it made me laugh. This cartoon has perfectly timed slapstick, which is also a plus. His hair-raising tail. What the fuck is this? This is nothing but a clip show featuring Bugs Bunny's best moments. Thankfully, it isn't as bad as Toy Town Hall and Bosco's Picture Show, but still. Also, they reused a bunch of clips from the old Bugs Bunny cartoons. Examples include Stage Door Cartoon, Rabbit Punch, and Hair Devil Hair. And trust me, the baby version of Bugs Bunny looks ugly. Baby Looney Tunes does a better job than that. Cheese Chasers. What the fuck is going on in this cartoon? We've got mice feeling suicidal and cats being deranged. This cartoon is morbid, yet pretty funny at the same time. Imagine having a big obsession over cheese that you eat all the cheese in one serving. I've seen better cartoons than that. Love Lone Leghorn. Honestly, I don't mind Foghorn Leghorn's cartoons, but this cartoon is a bit weird and goofy, but I like the gags in there. Tweety's SOS. I don't mind the Sylvester and Tweety cartoons either. It's Sylvester always trying to attack Tweety but set on a cruise ship. And there is one gag where Sylvester gets seasick and Sylvester takes nitroglycerine to take care of it. Ballad Box Bunny. This cartoon is actually pretty funny despite it being kinda political. Man, is Yosemite Sam hyper in this one. But all I can say is the gags and slapstick are really good, especially the piano gag. Probably the most well-known moment in this cartoon, and it especially made me chuckle. A Baleful Punishment. Oh gee, the three bears are back at it again. Well, the beginning gag of the bears knowing sucks. And trust me, any cartoon starring the three bears is really chaotic. This cartoon is perfect if you want to celebrate Father's Day. Some of the gags work, and some of them don't work. Sleepy Time Possum. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? This short was funny for the first couple minutes, but for the rest it's nothing but pointless gags and tomfoolery. It's about a dog in disguise trying to wake up a fucking possum for no fucking reason, given whatsoever. Also, side note, the characters' voices in this cartoon suck. Drip Happy Daffy. Well, pretty solid and good for Western film during that time. Let me tell you, the gags land pretty damn well. Fast-moving Western gags, I see. This cartoon is pretty funny overall. Big Top Bunny. Bugs Bunny, but set in a circus. Man, the Bugs cartoons are gold. Mostly centered around circus gags. The title in this cartoon does not fit well with the cartoon, but the addition of Bruno the Bear is what adds to the fun. Tweet Tweet Tweety. Honestly, the backgrounds kinda remind me of a Rabbit Season trilogy. Sylvester is out there doing his Sylvester things. I think Tweety needs to be stopped ever since I saw the latest Sylvester and Tweety cartoons. Some of the gags work, but that TNT explosion possibly in Earape got me. Overall a good one, but not great. The Prize Pest. We wrap up 1951 with this thing. This is about Pokey receiving a prize after winning a prize from a radio station. Cool, I guess, but Daffy Duck surprisingly came out of nowhere and pranked Pokey with a prize as himself. And Daffy Duck is out here vandalizing and ruining the house. Maybe Daffy has a pissy attitude. And Daffy in this cartoon, when I noticed while watching through later in the cartoon, is pure evil. Who's kidding who? Honestly, Sylvester is more funny without Tweety. Please don't get mad at me when I said that. The gags land out pretty well, it works out pretty good, so that's that. Operation Rabbit. This is my first time hearing Wile E. Coyote speak, and this is surprisingly a crossover between Bugs Bunny and Wile E. Coyote. Well, another funny one, I suppose, but it's not as bad as the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons, which I prefer more. All I can say is, too much explosions. Feed the Kitty. One of the most underrated Looney Tunes and Merrie Melodies cartoons. I guess pets can be a really good source for entertainment. Honestly, I prefer this rather than the cats and dogs compilations that you find on YouTube. The gag where Pussyfoot drives a toy car throughout the house gave me a laugh, for sure. And trust me, Mark Anthony can be chaotic and loud. Gift Wrapped. Another very solid entry in the catalog, but with some holiday aesthetic. Well, if you want at least a good holiday cartoon, you can check this one out. I've watched this on MeTV's Primetime Tune-In With Me Christmas special before, and surprisingly enough, Sylvester ate Tweety plenty of times in this cartoon, so I guess that's something shocking to say the least, and I guess you can call this the Sylvester and Tweety Christmas special. Foxy by Proxy. Okay, the beginning of this cartoon reminds me of Paul Revere for some sort of reason, but nonetheless another decent and solid entry. But let me tell you this, in this cartoon, you can consider Bugs Bunny as a furry dressed in a fox costume with a tail on it. Thumb Fun. Well, another solid one. Think Porky's is a better driver than Daffy, but it's pretty funny nonetheless, so the reason why I gave this a 9.5 out of 10 is due to Daffy being an asshole in his comedic acting. Mostly the comedic acting. 14 Karat Rabbit. Honestly, the second best so far out of the Gold Rush cartoons, with my number one being Gold Diggers of 49. Imagine a Gold Rush, but we got Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam. The gag where Yosemite Sam digs for gold and ends up falling off a cliff is very hilarious and one of the best ones so far in the Yosemite Sam series. And also, the gag where Yosemite Sam illegally finds gold at Fort Knox is pretty hilarious too, I guess. I guess Yosemite Sam has some childish behavior too. Little Bill Pepe. I said it before, and I'll say it again. The Pepe Le Pew cartoons are not my forte. You know, the characters provide good French accents, but this one is actually good due to some of it not focusing on romance, but focusing on the military instead, or marching bands, and this one has a pretty nice historical touch. Kitten the Kitten. Boing. Let me ask you, why is Dartsworth such a fat cat in this cartoon? This is like Garfield in a way. He's lazy and Dartsworth is lazy too, but the cat with a ping ball, who I don't know her name, is aggressive. But nonetheless, this is an okay cartoon. Water, water everywhere. Okay. This one is about Bug's house being flooded for some reason, but this one, at the same time, is very interesting, because it contains a little touch of sci-fi. This is apparently like a sequel to Hair Raising Hell. I'd honestly say that I appreciate Hair Raising Hell more than this one, because the Hair Raising Hell cartoon is more of a classic. And this is also the cartoon where Bugs gets high on ether. Little Red Rodent Hood. Okay, the rodent in this cartoon is childish, but this one is also solid, with some cute gags. This is like a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. Wow, there are so many cartoons that retell Little Red Riding Hood, but put Sylvester in it. This is the fourth Little Red Riding Hood twist or retelling I've gotten so far since the rankings began. Sock-a-doodle-doo. My favorite Foghorn Leghorn show so far. A lot of the gags made me chuckle, and every gag is perfectly landed. Boneyard Dog's personality is this cartoon is also funny, entertaining and comedic in every direction. Beep Beep. Alright, this is the second Roadrunner show so far in the collection. I really like the visuals and gags in this one. Also, the Roadrunners can't read and don't drink gag made me laugh. And that chase scene was very creative. If you want a good Roadrunner cartoon, I'd suggest this one. Also, I'm gonna play the chase scene a bit more and continue on with the rankings. The Hasty Hill. Well, this one is actually good, honestly. I don't know why, but it feels like a sequel to Hill Devil Hill. And this one surprisingly takes on colonialism. Marvin feels more like a colonialist in this cartoon in a way. And the gag's also good. Ain't She Tweet? Another solid entry in the Sylvester and Tweety series, I suppose. I thought this episode was gonna be musical at first. Well, I guess I was wrong. It's actually about Granny getting into a stampede of dogs. And it's also about Sylvester being attacked by dogs. How ironic. These stampedes of dogs are too distractive to both of them. You can say that this is the cartoon with a huge stampede of dogs. The Telltale Wolf. This is literally a retelling of a trial of Mr. Wolf, but it's the Three Little Piggies instead. This is the third cartoon I've seen so far that spoofs the Three Little Pigs. But there is nothing great going on here. It's just that it needs more work. And the trial of Mr. Wolf is better than that. Quack quack. Oh no, not Daffy dealing with a Daffy Wax video. Honestly, I like Daffy Duck's angry and sensitive personality, cause it makes me laugh. But only about 20 more left until we get into my all-time favorite Looney Tunes and Merrie Melodies cartoon of all time. And we're taking a few steps closer to it. Oily Hair. I like the Yosemite Sam cartoons better than this. This one is just not my type. Maybe it's because of the stereotypes portrayed. Very funny how Bugs lives in an oil drum in this cartoon. To start, this cartoon is slow-paced, but slowly gets funnier and better as it processes. Also, all I can say is, too much explosions. Hoppy Go Lucky. Another one featuring Sylvester and Hippity Hopper. What do you expect? Hippity Hopper is a really funny character, but I really don't like the mouse swallows a ball and gets fat gag, as I think it don't fit, and as I think it does not fit well in this cartoon. This is just like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, but with Sylvester and Hippity Hopper added to it. Going, gosh. Here we go again with the Roadrunner. I shouldn't have jinxed myself when I said Roadrunner in my last rating. But as usual, the gags work really well and fits the cartoon. Too much going on all at once, and as I keep saying, too many explosions. A bird in a guilty cage. They remade the intro music for Ain't She Tweet, but now with added lyrics. And I'm just gonna give this the same rating as the other Sylvester and Tweety cartoons, because, you know, mouse warming. This one focuses more on mice. Okay, no problem with that. Okay, why has Looney Tunes lately been obsessing with adding Ain't She Sweet as the background music, for fuck's sake? But this one is a bit too cute, and I kinda want a better cartoon than that. Rabbit seasoning. Yep, I wanted a better cartoon, and I got a better cartoon. This one, right here, is an absolute classic, for many reasons. I love every gag in this, perfectly timed, perfectly paced, and everything else about it. Now let's go more in detail. This is the second part of the Hunting Season trilogy by Chuck Jones, but this is set in the autumn. Rabbit Fire was set in the spring. As I said, the rabbit season, duck season gag never gets old. The gag where Bugs and Daffy kinda does a blooper reel with that thing is one of the greatest, and is roleplay comedy at its finest. And I especially love how Elmo keeps shooting Daffy, which makes me laugh each time, and another one of the best known gags in the entire series. Also, the decoy gag made me laugh too. One of my favorite cartoons of all time. Now let's get into the next one before I go further in detail. The Excited Rooster. Goofy as shit. The one part I don't like about it is how Henry Hawk was portrayed as an Indian, which is very questionable if you ask me. 342. Okay, Chester is annoying as greedy as shit. And Spike is kinda evil and mean-spirited and is like a detective in a way, but I'm okay with that. This cartoon is actually good, but for some reason there's a Black Panther roaming around trying to attack people. Man, is that Panther evil. But either way, I also laughed at the gag at the end where Spike and Chester swapped bodies. The Super Snooper. Man, is Daffy Duck better when he gets started in a genre spoof? How amazing. This is like Davy's version of Sherlock Holmes. Has very good humor too though, but it's not my favorite from the series, but it's up there. Rabbit Skin. Okay, that beginning title card of Merrie Melodies was quite buggy, but seriously, Pete Puma must be one of the goofiest and most dumbest and weirdest Looney Tunes antagonists I've ever seen. Apparently when I slowed it down, it sounds like Bugs Bunny, but sped up. This is why the cartoon is really funny. Terrio Stricken. This cartoon is decent and solid. Not the greatest, but it could need work. Feels like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, but with a dog and a cat. Full coverage. Oh no, we have made it to the devil's number. This cartoon featuring Daffy Duck as a door-to-door insurance salesman is a great watch that never gets old. The jokes are fresh and funny, and this ending is a bit predictable, but still makes me laugh nonetheless. Surprisingly a great one for a cartoon being placed at such an evil number. Hairlift. Reminds me of Fallen Hair, but with Yosemite Sam, but with nothing related to World War II. Pretty foolish, yet a good cartoon. It's just that I prefer Fallen Hair better. Don't give up the sheep. Okay, about the Ralph Wolf and Sam Sheepdog thing. Ralph Wolf looks like Wile E. Coyote, don't get me wrong. This looks like if Wile E. Coyote paired with someone that is not the Roadrunner. But in all seriousness, this one is a good one. Snow Business. One with a really good plot. It's a Sylvester and 3D cartoon but set during a winter storm. But all the characters are all snowed out. Also, the birdseed gag really made me laugh, which makes me give this cartoon a real positive rating. But man, sometimes these cartoons can make me laugh. A Mouse Divided. 2 Sylvester cartoons in a row? Oh, please. Also, the stroke in this cartoon sounds kinda ugly. The yolk on this cartoon also gives me Pepe Le Pew vibes. I don't know what else to say about these cartoons, you know. Forward March Hare. Bugs Bunny serving in the military. What a shocker. Bugs Bunny is much smaller compared to the other military dudes, but it could have been better if it wasn't for the stereotypical portraying other military officers. Kiss Me Cat. Mark Antony and Pussyfoot are literally adorable in this cartoon, don't get me wrong. One of the most underrated Chuck Jones characters that I know of. But the thing is, why has Looney Tunes lately been obsessing with putting cats and dogs in their cartoons? Duck Amuck. Alright, we have officially made it. We have officially arrived at my #1 favorite Looney Tunes and Merrie Melodies cartoon of all time. There is a lot to say about this. This one demonstrates realism and postmodernism at its finest, and is way ahead of its time, filled with excellent gags, excellent punchlines, jokes, fourth-wall breaks, etc. One time, this cartoon made me laugh my fucking ass off so hard that it almost made me cry. This is the most perfect example of trolling in a 1950s cartoon that you can ever find. Period. Every gag was moved in every direction well, and there's lots of creativity and effort put into it. This one is also filled with some of the best gags in the series. For example, the sound gag, the sea gag, the close-up gag, and the film reel gag. Seriously, I just adore this cartoon so much that I put this in my #1 spot of my favorite cartoons of all time. Chuck Jones, I give props to you for this, and I seriously recommend you guys to watch this cartoon. Also, spoiler alert, Bugs Bunny was the one who messed with Daffy the whole time. Upsweat Hair. The Elmer Fudd cartoons are getting scarce for this era. Now we got more Yosemite Sam than him, but this one, Actually decent and not bad with some mixed gags. I need better for a Bugs cartoon. A peck of trouble. That cat looks like Sylvester, but if he's more fat. But that baby cat is pretty damn cute. But seriously, when will Warner Bros. Stop with these cute cat cartoons? But at least in my opinion, they are better than the cute cat videos you can find on YouTube. Foul weather. For this is one of Sylvester and Tweety cartoons I can also tolerate. The music in this video is pretty good and has catchy lyrics. Also the "Hello pretty dad" gag made me chuckle. And the animals were also designed pretty well. Muscle Tussle. Okay, this one is a bit interesting, but yet the voice acting is pretty cheesy. I mean, there are some good gags in this, but not to the point where I'd say that they are great. That Daffy Duck choking gag kinda annoyed me, but this is one of the more better Daffy Duck cartoons, and this is also the second time in a row they said Nashville, Tennessee in a Looney Tunes cartoon. Southern Fried Rabbit. Okay, this is a much better version of Fresh Hare, but it tackles more on the Civil War, and I'm not quite a fan of the Civil War and Dixie portrayed in such cartoons. Ant pasted. Okay, this is where Elmer Fudd deals with ants. I see where this is going, and these ants sound so fucking goofy as shit. Reminds me of Rabbit's Kin. This is literally about the ants trying to declare war on Elmer Fudd for trying to destroy the mans. I'm guessing the moral of this cartoon is, if you gotta do firecrackers, just don't do it near ants or they'll start a war against you. One of the most stupidest ideas for a cartoon ever, honestly. Much Ado About Nothing. Squirrels everywhere. This cartoon is all about squirrels. How funny and how stupid and nonsensical. It's about squirrels fucking around in a nut shop like there's no tomorrow. This has also gotta be the dumbest squirrel I've ever seen. There oughto be a law. And we're back into the spot gag cartoons. But not by Tex Avery, but by Robert Mackinson instead. But it instead focuses on automobiles. Gosh, some of these gags are pretty funny though, and some are bad. Some are in the middle, and so on. So if you want a Looney Tunes cartoon literally focused on cars, why not this one? Hair trimmed. Well, what have we got? Yosemite Sam trying to rob someone. This could be the first cartoon starring Granny that never features Sylvester nor Tweety. I guess Yosemite Sam can stalk people sometimes too, but near the middle of the cartoon, it just goes to the typical Bug/Yosemite fight. Tomcat. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the actual fuck is this? I literally got to see millions of Sylvesters portraying Native Americans, which is considered to many really stereotypical and probably racist. Also, you can say that this is the first cartoon with a 10 Little Indians gag. But honestly, to say the least, despite some mediocre gags, this is the worst Sylvester and Tweety cartoon I've ever seen so far. Thankfully it isn't as bad as Jungle Jitters, but still. Wild Over You. As I keep saying, I do not appreciate the Pepe Le Pew cartoons due to the theme of romance, but this one is decent, which is surprising to say the least. Meh, nothing else to add. Let's just go to the next one. Duck Dodgers in the 24.5th century. Okay, this one is an absolute classic. As I said, Daffy Duck is better when he gets starred in a genre spoof, which is another one of them, and one of my favorites. This one takes on sci-fi, and I have a really good interest in sci-fi. The Daffy Duck shows from this era are one of the best. Don't get me wrong, this one really does spark my interest in that kind of stuff. It is another one that I seriously want to recommend you to watch if you're a fan of that genre. This one has a really good plot, really good gags, perfectly timed and landed, and really great characterization. I love this. Bull Lethal Bugs. Oh great, now we got into another bullfighting cartoon, but the bull in this cartoon does look ugly. And it's probably my favorite bullfighting cartoon. I love the fact that it starts out with bugs literally popping out of this hole and at a bullfighting stage. And trust me, bullfighting is a pretty dangerous task. but Bugs Bunny mastered it and won against the bull. Very entertaining and a must-watch for you guys. Plop goes the weasel. Falcon Leghorn is back after a while, I suppose, but this one is about Falcon dealing with a weasel. How amusing and quite goofy. Cattails for 2. This is the first appearance of Speedy Gonzales, the fastest mouse in all Mexico. Speedy is a good character, and he kinda reminds me of the Roadrunner in a way. His early design looks quite ugly and stereotypical, but overall a decent cartoon. A street cat named Sylvester. Well, my gosh. We're officially back into the Sylvester and Tweety cartoons. But we got Sylvester mimicking Tweety this time. What a surprise! But this is not the last Sylvester and Tweety cartoon, as we got many more to go through. Overall, another decent cartoon. Zipping along. Back to the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner series. But this one is not as good as the others, but still a good one. It's just that some of these gags don't satisfy me, but at least it can do better. Just saying. You know. Lumberjack Rabbit. Ah yes, the only Warner Brothers cartoon in 3D, which is fairly interesting. The opening to this cartoon can catch some people off guard, but continuing, this is an okay cartoon, not the best, but one of the most solid ones. Duck, Rabbit, Duck! The last of the Duck Season, Rabbit Season trilogy, but set in the winter time. But in all seriousness, a really funny one. Same rating as the rest of the Hunt and Trilogy cartoons, 10 out of 10. As I said, the Rabbit Season, Duck Season gag never gets old. This one has some really good gags, perfectly timed, and it's also an absolute classic for the previous reasons I stated. And it also really made me laugh. Easy peckings. Okay, I just thought this was a Falcon Leghorn cartoon at first by the looks of it. It's actually just another bullshit chicken fighting with a bullshit fox. Wow, just wow, how did I get confused so easily? And I easily love the special effects of the explosions. Catty Cornered. This is also a Tom and Jerry cartoon with that name too. But let's just get into the Warner Brothers one. Overall, I find this as my favorite Sylvester and Tweety cartoon so far, because it has a great plot or story behind it. It's about a bird gone missing because he was kidnapped by a gangster or some sort. And surprisingly enough, near the end, Sylvester apparently became friends with Tweety for some sort of reason, or at least the news thinks so, but that potty tat ends up in Tweety. Of rice and hen. Like I said, I am not that much of a fan of Falcon Leghorn, another decent one with some decent gags, but some of the voice acting is goofy. Cats Away. Reminds me of Conrad the Sailor and Tweety's SOS in a way because of the background. And Sylvester's back to his usual shenanigans again, against Hippity Hopper this time. What is funny is that Junior confused Hippity Hopper with a giant mouse, which made me chuckle. Robot Rabbit. I expected it to be a hobo cartoon. Overall, turns out it's quite solid, but funny. And what's funny is that the robot speaks in Morse code. Punch Drunk. Ah, isn't that elephant cute? A miniature elephant as a pet. How nice, but that elephant kinda looks a bit too realistic. I believe Dumbo is fairer than him, just saying. Dog Pounded. Ain't She Tweet was better than this, but overall, just another solid Looney Tunes cartoon with some good gags here and there. It's apparently about Sylvester trying to catch Tweety while dealing with lots of dogs. Just let Sylvester eat Tweety for once, goddammit! But the Aunt and Pepe Le Pew cameo though, my god. Captain Hailblower. The threequel to Buccaneer Bunny and Mutiny on the Bunny, anyone? There hasn't been 3 Yosemite Sam / Bugs Bunny cartoons with the same fucking plot. How amusing. But overall, at least it's a good one. I prefer the other 2 I mentioned better, but still. Alright, with that out of the way, Part 7 is officially finished. Wow, that was a wild ride. I discovered a lot of favorites. You know. Oh, and I'm sorry that I kept you guys waiting. A lot of stuff has pushed me in its way. 700 done, 300 left to go. So for the next part, you're gonna expect the first appearances of the Tasmanian Devil and Hazel the Witch. And we're gonna expect the final short to be reissued as a blue ribbon. And eventually, we're gonna see new music for the intro of each cartoon. And we're gonna see, like, another compilation short. And I think that's it. And that'll be it for my ranking video. So if you can, please hit a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you want to see the process on my cartoon ranking so far, you should check out the Google Docs link, the Google Sheets link in the description. Oh, and I will also be ranking the cartoons on RateYourMusic.com and Letterboxd. So if you want to see them, check out my RIM and Letterboxd account in the description. But if you want to rate every single Looney Tunes and Merrie Melodies cartoon that has ever been released, that's fine with me. But please make sure to credit me for inspiration. I was inspired by other people like the Hit Critic to do this too. So yeah. All of my rankings are based on my personal opinion, and this is only my version of the rankings. So if I stole any of your ideas, then I am very sorry to hear that. Any feedback will be appreciated as long as it's positive feedback. But anyways, that'll be it for this video. And I'll see you in part 8.